Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? El día de hoy les traemos un súper video con el cual podrán practicar para el día de su entrevista. Es una entrevista completa con la nueva N400. Con este video se podrá dar una idea de cómo es toda la entrevista, las preguntas cívicas, preguntas personales, N400, la nueva N400, de repente la dinámica del oficial. Es obvio que este es un video generalizado, no todas las entrevistas son iguales, en ocasiones preguntan menos, en ocasiones preguntan más, todo dependiendo de tu caso, del oficial que tanto pregunte, pero es bueno practicar diferentes escenarios para estar bien preparado para el día de tu entrevista. Ahora, este video no incluye respuestas. Si a ti te gustaría que hiciéramos este mismo video pero con respuestas, comenta la palabra video con respuestas y con mucho gusto te vamos a hacer un video para la próxima semana que incluya respuestas para que te puedas dar una idea. Para nosotros es muy importante cuando le dan like y los comentarios que ponen. Yo leo mucho los comentarios. Es imposible responderles a todos, pero de que los leemos. Y en esos comentarios nos damos cuenta de qué otro tipo de videos les serviría a ustedes para su preparación. Entonces, comenten la palabra respuestas o con respuestas y con gusto estaremos trabajando para hacer este video para la próxima semana. Ahora, si tú eres una de las personas que no sabe por dónde comenzar a estudiar y todo lo que hay que estudiar para prepararse bien para la entrevista de ciudadanía, te invito a que visites nuestra página cursosconfernando.com. En él tenemos un curso detallado paso a paso de todo lo que hay que prepararse para la entrevista. En nuestro curso encontrarás más de 50 clases organizadas en paso a paso, simplificado para que puedas aprender las preguntas cívicas, todo lo que hay que aprender con las preguntas personales, con la nueva N400 o la N400 antiguo. Constantemente estamos actualizando nuestro curso si llega a haber algún cambio. También incluimos videos acerca de las definiciones, prácticas con diferentes acentos y todo lo puedes estudiar a tu propio ritmo y a tu propio tiempo sin importar tu nivel de inglés. Además, les damos un número de WhatsApp. Debajo de las clases también pueden comentar, nos pueden enviar sus emails y tenemos todo un equipo de trabajo que te está ayudando, respondiendo tus preguntas y ayudándote en tu estudio. Así que ya sabes, si te gustaría obtener la mejor preparación para el día de tu entrevista con el apoyo de nuestro equipo, adquiere nuestro curso en nuestra página cursosconfernando.com. Muy bien, ¿qué les parece si vamos a la práctica del día de hoy? Recuerden, comenten si les gustaría que hiciéramos el video con respuestas y no olviden dejarnos su like. Muy bien, vamos a la práctica del día de hoy. Mucha suerte.
Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm that the statements you will give and provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You can put your hand down and you can take a seat. I'm Officer Cruz, and today I will be conducting your citizenship interview. Can I see your appointment letter, please? Do you have your permanent resident card, your passports, and a valid ID with you? If you can show them to me, please. How are you feeling today? Did you come by yourself today? Do you need to correct any information on your application? Who helped you fill out this application? How long have you been a permanent resident? How did you get your permanent residency? What is your complete name? Have you used any other names? Are you going to change your name? What changes would you like to make to your name? When were you born? What is your country of origin? Are either of your parents U.S. citizens? Were your parents married before your 18th birthday? How tall are you and how much do you weigh? Are you married? Is your spouse a U.S. citizen? What is your spouse's full legal name? How many times have you been married? Were you ever married back in your country of origin? Do you have children? How many children do you have? Are you the biological parent of your children? Do any of your children live outside of the United States? What do you do for a living? How long have you worked there? What is your current address? How long have you lived there? What is the date of the last trip you took out of the United States? Where did you travel to? What was the purpose of this trip? When did you come back to the United States? In the last 5 years, how many trips have you taken out of the United States? In the last 5 years, how many total days have you spent outside of the United States?
Antes de continuar con este estudio, te quiero invitar a que busques nuestro segundo canal, Citizens Ahora. En él vienen personas a contarnos cómo fueron sus experiencias y ya nos están llegando experiencias de personas que tuvieron su entrevista con la nueva N400. Puede ser que una de estas experiencias sea en la oficina que a ti te toca tu entrevista, así que visita nuestro segundo canal, Citizens Ahora, e infórmate qué está pasando en las entrevistas más recientes. Muy bien, continuemos con esta clase.
Now we are going to do the civics questions. First question. What does the Constitution do? What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? The House of Representatives has how many voting members? Who signs bills to become laws? Name one right only for United States citizens. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? What is the name of the national anthem? Now, please read the following sentence. Now, please write the following sentence. The White House is in Washington, D.C. The White House is in Washington, D.C. The White House is in Washington, D.C. Please allow me one moment. Okay, let's continue. Please answer the following questions. Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen? Have you ever registered to vote or voted in any federal, state, or local election in the United States? If you lawfully voted only in a local election where non-citizens are eligible to vote, you may answer no. Do you currently owe any overdue federal, state, or local taxes in the United States? Since you became a lawful permanent resident, have you called yourself a non-resident alien on a federal, state, or local tax return, or decided not to file a tax return because you considered yourself to be a non-resident? Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any communist or totalitarian party anywhere in the world? Advocated any of the following, or been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any group anywhere in the world that advocated any of the following: opposition to all organized government, world communism, the establishment in the United States of a totalitarian dictatorship, the overthrow by force or violence or other unconstitutional means of the governments of the United States or all forms of law, the unlawful assaulting or killing of any officer or officers of the governments of the United States or of any other organized government because of their official character, the unlawful damage, injury, or destruction of property, or sabotage, Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services or labor, or any other assistance or support to a group that used a weapon or explosive with intent to harm another person or cause damage to property? Engaged in kidnapping, assassination, or hijacking or sabotage of an airplane, ship, vehicle, or other mode of transportation? Threatened, attempted, conspired, prepared, planned, advocated for, or incited others to commit any of the acts listed in item numbers 6A or 6B? Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in any of the following? Torture, genocide, killing or trying to kill any person, intentionally and severely injuring or trying to injure any person, any kind of sexual contact or activity with any person who did not consent or was unable to consent or was being forced or threatened by you or by someone else, not letting someone practice their religion, causing harm or suffering to any person because of their race, religion, national origin, membership in a particular social group or political opinion.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo te está yendo con la nueva N400? Si te gustaría tener una clase en inglés y en español en nuestro curso, tenemos varias clases que te pueden ayudar en tu preparación para la entrevista completa, pero sobre todo en esta nueva N400. Solo visita nuestra página cursosconfernando.com y adquiere el mejor curso para prepararte para tu entrevista de ciudadanía. Muy bien, sigamos con la práctica del día de hoy.
Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any military or police unit? Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any armed group, for example, paramilitary unit, self-defense unit, vigilante unit, rebel group, or guerrilla group? Have you ever worked, volunteered, or otherwise served in a place where people were detained, for example, a prison, jail, prison camp, detention facility, or labor camp? Or have you ever directed or participated in any other activity that involved detaining people? Were you ever a part of any group, or did you ever help any group, unit, or organization that used a weapon against any person or threatened to do so? Have you ever sold, provided, or transported weapons, or assisted any person in selling, providing, or transporting weapons which you knew or believed would be used against another person? Have you ever received any weapons training, paramilitary training, or other military type training? Have you ever recruited, enlisted, conscripted, or used any person under 15 years of age to serve in or help an armed group, or attempted or worked with others to do so? Have you ever used any person under 15 years of age to take part in hostilities, or attempted or worked with others to do so? This could include participating in combat or providing services related to combat. Include all the crimes and offenses in the United States or anywhere in the world, including domestic violence, driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and crimes and offenses while you were under 18 years of age which you ever committed, agreed to commit, or asked someone else to commit, were arrested, cited, detained, or confined by any law enforcement officer, military official, or immigration official, were charged with committing, helping commit, or trying to commit, pled guilty to, were convicted of, were placed in alternative sentencing or a rehabilitative program for, or received a suspended sentence, clemency, amnesty, or pardon for, or were placed on probation or paroled for. Have you ever committed, agreed to commit, asked someone else to commit, helped commit, or tried to commit a crime or offense for which you were not arrested? Have you ever been arrested, cited, detained, or confined by any law enforcement officer, military official, or immigration official for any reason, or been charged with a crime or offense? If you received a suspended sentence, were placed on probation, or were paroled, have you completed your suspended sentence, probation, or parole? Have you ever engaged in prostitution, attempted to procure or import prostitutes or persons for the purpose of prostitution, or received any proceeds or money from prostitution? Manufactured, cultivated, produced, distributed, dispensed, sold, or smuggled any controlled substances, illegal drugs, narcotics, or drug paraphernalia in violation of any law or regulation of a U.S. state, the United States, or a foreign country? Been married to more than one person at the same time? Married someone in order to obtain an immigration benefit? Helped anyone to enter or try to enter the United States illegally? Gambled illegally or received income from illegal gambling? Failed to support your dependents or to pay alimony? Made any misrepresentation to obtain any public benefit in the United States?
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo les está yendo con la nueva N400? Recuerden que si les gustaría estudiar toda esta información, ahí está nuestro curso. En nuestro curso tenemos una clase con la nueva N400 en inglés y en español para que lo puedas estar estudiando y memorizando. Simplemente visita nuestra página cursosconfernando.com para que puedas adquirir nuestro curso y prepararte ya.
Have you ever given any U.S. government officials any information or documentation that was false, fraudulent, or misleading? Have you ever lied to any U.S. government officials to gain entry or admission into the United States or to gain immigration benefits while in the United States? Have you ever been placed in removal, rescission, or deportation proceedings? Have you ever been removed or deported from the United States? Are you a person born as a male who lived in the United States at any time between your 18th and 26th birthdays? Have you ever left the United States to avoid being drafted in the U.S. Armed Forces? Have you ever applied for any kind of exemption from military service in the U.S. Armed Forces? Have you ever served in the U.S. Armed Forces? Are you currently a member of the U.S. Armed Forces? Do you now have, or did you ever have, a hereditary title or an order of nobility in any foreign country? Do you support the Constitution and form of government of the United States? Do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Are you unable to take the oath of allegiance because of a physical or developmental disability or mental impairment? Are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States? If the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the United States? If the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces? If the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction? Okay, at this time, I will recommend your application as approved. Congratulations.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo te fue con la práctica del día de hoy? Espero te haya ido excelente. Déjanos en los comentarios si te gustaría que hiciéramos este mismo video con respuestas. Recuerda que si te gustaría tener la mejor preparación, visita nuestra página cursosconfernando.com y adquiere el curso ya. Nos estamos viendo pues en el próximo video. Chao.